Hi guys, so today we will cover this node, that is view property. It comes from here, the last from the constants. Okay, so from last 2 days I was trying to figure out this node because it has lots of properties, and because I'm using this first time also, so it has lots of properties. I couldn't figure out all of these. So if you'll see this image, the green one I have now idea, so I will share what I have learned from last 2 days, and red ones I don't have much idea, so I will not cover in this video. Maybe in future I will keep working on these. If I'll get anything that I can share with you, I will definitely do that. So for now I'll just cover these things. Okay, so first you can see the render target size I have crossed, then we have these. So first I will show you like field of view. So it doesn't do anything, but it gives you the property, the actual property of these values. Like if you using the field view, it will give that. So if I connect this like directly here, it will definitely give you color. But if I take the debug scalar and then connect it here, it will give you a value. Now it is 1.5, and if I change the field of view, because I'm using field of view, it will change the value. You can see that. So depending on the field of view, you can change your color. So like if I take the LERP and connect this here, and I have two colors like red and green, and connect these here and connect this one here. So if I now change the field of view, it will change my object's color. So depending on the field of view in your game, you can change not just color, you can change anything. You can change the any parameter in your material. So this is field of view. Then second is it is also field of view, but it has a formula assigned with, that is 10, then multiply 0.5 the field of view. So it will give you the field of view, but after this mathematical formula. So if I use that, this will reduce some value, but yeah, it is also working on field of view. Okay, this is the difference. Then we have the view size. So in image, I have a tick on view size and I have crossed on the render size because I was confused in between two, because both are working same for me. So I'll show you the both now, and I don't know really actually which one is correct, because both giving me the same result. So I ticked view size because I think that view size is correct, but I'm not figuring out the render size. So I'll show you. So let's say this one is like view size, and I'll just disconnect this for now. So we have just view size and disconnect it from here. So it's giving you 450, and this giving you the viewport size. So if I increase or decrease viewport size, you can see. And this is vector too. So you can take XY. It should it should change. I'll show you in the viewport. So if I take a cube, um, 0, and I'll place this material. So it is 1451, and if I'm changing this viewport on this axis, it is changing, and on this axis it is also changing. Okay, so it giving you that viewport size. If even if you open a new viewport, it will give you the size of that viewport. Okay, so depending on the size of viewport, you can change color or anything. And like in this one, we are using view size. So if I duplicate it, Control D, and in the second material, in this one, if I take the render target view size, and if you see the tool tips which it giving you, horizontal and vertical size of views buffer in pixel, and in this one, horizontal and vertical size of view in pixel, just the difference of buffer. So it giving you same value. So in this one we have the render target size, and I'll just save it. So now I'll duplicate this and apply that second material. Okay, and you'll see both giving me the same output, and if I am changing this viewport, the value are changing the same. So both giving me the same output. I don't know what's the difference. I have tried to play, I have tried lots of things, but still giving me the same output. So not sure about it. Okay, so I'll delete that and also I'll close that. So after that, we have a view position and camera position. And if you'll see the definition, both gives you the position of from the camera, but it is different when you are working on shadow passes. So it says absolute world space view position differ from the camera position in the shadow passes. So this is your camera position, so that view position is different from it if you are using shadow passes. And this is vector 3, so you need to take the debug vector 3 and connect it here. So I have a camera. If I'm moving my camera, rotating my camera, you can see all the axis values are changing. So depending on the camera angle, you can change your material. And same, this is the view. So if I'm changing my view, it's changing the values. Okay. So these are the, and it's giving you the same value. It's not different from that. Then we have viewport offset. No idea. In image, you can see I have crossed. Because if you'll see the definition of this, it says horizontal and vertical position of viewport in pixel within the buffer. So what position of viewport? I don't know. I have tried it to place in viewport, tried to move things up, tried different things, but couldn't. And if any you have any knowledge about these things, you can comment below. So I will learn those things. So uh, thank you for that if you'll comment on that. So the next thing is temporal sample count. So this will give you what temporal sample or temporal quality you are using. So if you have this and you have turned this on, it will give you around maybe 11. Yeah. So I'll save this, and in the viewport, and if you go to the project setting and search here temporal and move it here. So you are using the temporal super resolution. So depending on that, it's giving the value. And if you change these, it will change the value. Okay, so this is what I figured out. And these things you can also change when you are rendering from the sequencer. So you can change from that also. So let me try. So let's say if you have a sequencer, and I'll open that and I place the camera right here, and in the Q setting, and I add anti-aliasing, and here if you override, you have this option. So it gives you 11. It was giving you 11, and if I accept and render it, it's giving you 11. Okay, I'll stop it, and now I'll change the setting, maybe multi-sampler. Now it's giving you 1 in that. So depending on that, you can change the things. Okay, so next is index. So if I'll show you this image, I have green ticked here, but you can see this is also depend on what you are using. So like I have using the index, and let's save this. So now if I render, it's 0 because let me just turn this off, because I'm using multi-sampler. If I'm using super sampler, super resolution, it's changing the value like from 0 to 19. So depending on the setting, and this now node is really doubtful for me. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just sharing what I figured out from last 2 days. Because of this node, I didn't create any other tutorials like FX. You can see now it's from 0 to 5. So depending on the temporal setting, it's changing the value. And then we have, so no idea about these things. then the exposure. So on your exposure, it will change the value. So like if you have saved this and now you have to, and if I change the exposure, like from here, you have now 0.5 and I'm changing it, you have different exposure. So this is your exposure, and depending on that, you can change the color or anything. So like if you have this thing plugged in here, so depending on your exposure in the scene, you can change the color or so now you can see depending on this value, you are changing the color of your material. Okay, so these were the all nodes that I somewhat figure out, not sure 100%, but yeah. So I'm just sharing the knowledge that I got from tried lots of things after tried lots of things. So thanks for watching and keep learning. Bye bye.